I'm Jonah Hill, and you're listening to Throwing Fits, the only podcast that matters. I like, you know what I like? I like Crescent Down Works.
Ooh. Yo, fucking I feel like people don't talk about them anymore. That's some Gorp shit, baby.
Yeah, I feel like they should be one of those brands that kind of are like a staple forever. Like, they're kind of like basic gods. Like, what I look for is a really high quality basic, no aesthetic. That's my favorite. So like Crescent Down Works puffer is like, come on, man. It's like,
so like a jump
tighter than a North Face. There's no logo. There's no anything.
Right.
How do I put it? If you saw a puffer, a t-shirt, and jeans, and boots, or my superstars, whatever, the idea is that it'd be like, dude, what are each of those things?
Right.
There's no logo on it.
Sure.
There has to be mad respect in each choice of those things.
This is if you know, you know. You live the if you know, you know lifestyle that we try to,
right, but
preach.
You can't even know. You have to act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no identifying qualities almost.
Yeah. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, you ask Jonah. You walk right up to Jonah and say, "Hey, man, what's the jacket, bro?"
Yeah, I'd be honored. You're throwing at.
It's Crescent Down Works.
That's kind of like what I think is dope. And then there's like slightly off colors. Like Crescent Down Works has slightly like, where it's not obnoxious, but it's like cool colors. It's not like crazy, it's like muted.
Okay, there's quite a lot to unpick here. First off, I want to shout out Huckberry for being cool enough to make this video happen. You see, normally when brands or stores reach out wanting to work together, they've got a very specific product in mind that they want to push. So when I was chatting to Charles, that's my Huckberry connection, and telling him I would like to base this entire video off an obscure fashion podcast from 3 years ago, and I would like this very expensive jacket to do it with. I was fully expecting him to go like, how about you take this one small cheap thing? But on the contrary, he was like, okay, awesome, what's your address? And I have to say, that's really cool. Okay, but really, what are we going to do with this video? I mean, as much as I want to talk about how awesome the Crescent Down Works are, because they really are, I think that the point that Mr. Hill made about...
If you saw a puffer, a t-shirt, and jeans, and boots, the idea is that it'd be like, dude, what are each of those things?
Right.
There's just something about whatever it might be being the best version of whatever it could be. And that adds a certain aesthetic to any look. For some reason, it just works. And more than that, these things tend to work together. So yeah, of course, we're going to dive into the details of this Crescent Down Works diagonal quilted down sweater. I think that's what it's called. Yes, we're going to dive into the details, but alongside that, or after that, we're going to look at a few other bits that I think work in the same way that Jonah was talking about. But first, I'm actually going to lose the sweater because I'm going outside to test the Crescent Down Works diagonal quilted down sweater. And I think if I keep wearing this, I'm going to cook. Okay, so I was looking for my favorite filming tree, but they seem to have stolen that. And now I found a very cold rock, a very cold popular rock. I've been waiting to film here for like 20 minutes. Right, Crescent Down Works, a brief history. The brand was started back in 1974 by Annie Mikkelsen, and before that she'd worked for Eddie Bauer, who is another legend in the keeping you cozy clothing space. While she was there, she set up the Down Testing Lab, which was ironically upstairs. Actually, I don't know if it was. Entertaining myself. But look, it's actually really cold, there's proper ice. But anyway, moving on. So, suffice to say that Annie knew an awful lot about down and about down garments. And she started making parkas and down vests and jackets all out of a small workshop in Seattle. And things just took off from there. The brand started being picked up by stores all over the world, wholesale production ramped up, and today, Crescent Down Works is the if you know, you know down goats. And something that I find very, very cool about Crescent Down Works is that they are now a second generation brand. Annie's son and daughter, so Annie's daughter, who actually met quite a few years ago in Paris when they were showing there. She was such a lovely woman and she got me super, super fired up about Crescent Down Works. Anyway, that's an aside. Annie's son and daughter now run things with Annie Sr. over in Seattle. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I just spotted my filming tree. The bastards moved it. There we go, that's better. It feels like home, even though in reality I've filmed here about once. Right, to the jacket. This is the Crescent Down Works Down Diagonal Puffer Sweater. So it's not officially a jacket, apparently. For me, it's more like a bomber. It's got that bomber vibe to it, at least, with the knitted collar and the cuffs. Even though in reality it's much longer, but then the down gives it that boxy look. So yeah, I don't know, that's the vibe I'm getting from it. Right, the down part. This thing is filled full of 9 ounces of 700 premium fill down. 800, that is the very, very best top of the line down, but it's not actually the best. You see, if down gets wet, it is next to useless at keeping you warm. And the fluffier the balls, 800 is the fluffiest balls, the fluffier the balls, the more it soaks up water. If your balls are slightly less fluffy, then they don't soak up so much water, they dry faster, and they can start keeping you warmer faster. Right, I'm starting to notice that I'm really, really starting to lose the light, and I don't fancy being in the Tiergarten, that's a big park in the middle of Berlin, after dark. Not with all this expensive camera equipment, at least. Actually, even without the expensive camera equipment, I don't want to be stuck in this park after dark. Right, but before I scarper back to the studio to finish up this video, I just want to say a little bit about the insulating properties of down. So currently it is around about -6 degrees Celsius. That for me is cold. Under the jacket, I just have a very, very thin t-shirt. To be fair, a thin t-shirt and like a vest. And it's not much, put it that way. And I'm still cozy warm. I'm still totally happy. I could be out here for another few hours if it wasn't getting dark and I wasn't getting scared. Okay, back to the studio. I have to say that is better. I mean, on the way up here on the bike, yeah, the bits in the jacket were completely fine. The bits sticking out of the jacket, they were getting a bit cold. Right, the down. The down is also ethically sourced, which I think means that they steal it from the nests of geese, which I guess the geese aren't very happy about until they explain the alternative. In that case, probably the geese helped them. And also shout out to Michael from the Iron Snail for all of those pearls of wisdom on why the best down isn't actually the best down. This is actually way, way easier for the next part. Okay. Whoa, feels cold in here now. Oh, last video, a few people asked me what this sweatshirt was. A few people asked me what this sweatshirt was. It's from Ben's Out Denim Developers. There's a link down below, and there's going to be a link down below to this as well. Right, okay, what's next? Next is I'm going to try my very, very best not to say fluffy for the rest of this video. And next up is the outer shell fabric. Because keeping all that down in place is a nylon cotton mix. Was it 60-40? This is, it's water resistant. I've not tested this in a torrential downpour. And I don't think I ever will. I don't think you ever will either. Suffice it to say, it's going to be enough to keep the worst the weather off. Inside, the lining is 100% nylon and it is super, super soft. This makes like moving around very, very easy, very comfy. This thing is just pretty much friction free. And next up is one of my very, very favorite things about this jacket. I mean, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you're going to know that I'm low-key obsessed with hand warmer pockets. And these ones actually live up to the name because they are down filled. And I just love that attention to detail where the application of the hand warmer pockets match the diagonal application of the rest of the jacket. That's just a really, really nice attention to detail, and I really appreciate that. Should stop saying really so much. The zipper seems really good quality, a decent size. The zip pulls are also a good size, so when you're fumbling around with cold hands, you'll be able to actually get this thing up. No jokes. It is a two-way, so when you need some like much needed ventilation, which I'm pretty sure you will, that's pretty simple. Just zip this up from the bottom. Tucked in behind that zipper is a wind flap. These things are actually more useful than I ever really thought. And it's also down-filled, so nice. Right, what else? Collar and cuffs, the knitted collar and cuffs. These are chunky, really. These feel really, really good. And the collar's great, but what I really appreciated were the cuffs. Like when I was cycling down to do the filming earlier, these were fantastic. It didn't allow any wind to sort of come up my arms and cool me off. I was wondering why the knit wasn't down at the hem here, but just thinking about it, that would make zero sense. I was thinking that because I was thinking that this is kind of a bomber style, but it's not. It's something else. And if I'm just thinking about the practicality of this, I mean, this is made for the outdoors. You're going to be doing things, activities, you're going to be reaching for things. If you had the knit round the hem, then it's just going to ride up. And there's two problems with that. One, you're going to look ridiculous. And the second, you're going to get cold. I see this as Crescent Down Works everyday down jacket. I mean, this isn't the one that you're going to take to the Antarctic, definitely not. But it's the one that's going to see 99.9% of us through the winter and see you through the winter very cozy and very comfy. Is there anything else I'm missing with this? Okay, sizing. I am a size large in mostly everything. This is a size large, so I'd say it fits true to size. There is a dope open label. It's made in the US, it's made in Seattle at the Crescent Down Works factory. And it's just a very, very nice, very well made piece. I'm very, very impressed. On a previous video, I think I need to move that over here. On a previous video, one of you guys made a very good suggestion that I'll offer up some alternatives to the products I review. And okay, so there's the OGs, Rocky Mountain Featherbed. Can I say that they're the OGs? So they were a US company, then they closed their doors for whatever reason, got started up again by a Japanese company. Now they're all made in Japan. Whatever. They do lean very heavy into the whole sort of heritage Western vibe. No bad thing, and if that is your thing, then you can't do any better. Then there's the proper OGs, Eddie Bauer. But I had a quick look on their website and they seem to be suspiciously cheap these days. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Then there's the obvious ones. Your North Face, your Canada Goose, or your Patagonia. I do think that they make amazing jackets. I really do. And I do mess with the look of some of them. The issue that I have with them is that you see somebody wearing one of these pieces and you tend to pigeonhole them slightly or a lot. They come preloaded with associations that's got something to do with their success. And this is just what Jonah was talking about. Crescent Down Works doesn't come with any of that. And therein lies its greatness. They come from a place, philosophically, the place they actually come from is Seattle, but they come from a place where somebody said, okay, let's make the best down jacket we possibly can. It's not based on hype. It's not based on nostalgia, it's not based on Carrie Bradshaw. It's based on the knowledge and the experience of a few extremely passionate individuals that's been gathered over decades. Right, but Jonah talked about a fit when he talked about the context of Crescent Down Works. He talked about a down jacket, sorted, talked about a t-shirt and talked about jeans and talked about boots. So let's see what we can find that I feel fit the same criteria. Starting with boots. Super easy one. It has to be the Danner Mountain Light. For the t-shirt, t-shirts are tricky. I think I'm just going to fall back on experience and go for the 316 Pima t-shirts. They're super soft, super comfy, and they've got a slightly boxier fit to them. They're going to be perfect worn underneath this jacket. Jeans, right. And since this is shaping up to be it's not gorp, it's more of a kind of outdoorsy sort of outfit, I want the jeans to reflect that. So you want practicality, you want to be able to move in these. And you also want a fit that's going to balance out the bulkier jacket and the bulkier boots. And if you had a skinny pair of jeans, you'd look like a two pencils sticking out of an apple. Right, but specifically, I think that these Graham jeans from Raleigh Denim Workshop, they fit the bill pretty much perfectly. They're a relaxed taper, which means you've got plenty of movement through the thighs. You've got a decent high rise. Your ass is not going to be hanging out. You're not going to get cold that way. I just think that these are a very nice pair of jeans, and they don't have too many identifying marks. They fly under the radar. They are the if you know jeans to this jacket. And I think that's a great fit, I really do. I think all of these pieces work extremely well together aesthetically and from the kind of like that philosophical idea of this just being very, very good basics, the best you can possibly get. If you get one of these jackets, you don't need another down jacket. If you get those jeans, you don't need any other jeans. Same with the boots, same with the t-shirt. Okay, you might need some extra t-shirts, you're gonna get stinky after a while. But you get the idea. And if you're looking for other menswear classics to fill up your wardrobe, then maybe consider checking out this video here where I go over some really good options.